Hi, I'm John, and I've got a couple Madbean Cave Dwellers here. The first one is built stock, and I built this right after the boards came out, pretty much the first weekend they were delivered. And everything on this is as the original schematic. And then over here I've got something I call the Nature Dweller, and one of the things that I and a few other people noticed is that sometimes, because of tolerances from capacitors and resistors maybe, or just from the design of the circuit, the original Cave Dweller design can sometimes be a little darker than some people want. And I just want to stress that I do think that the pedal sounds very good for what it does, but I wanted to try something a little different with it, so I decided to try to make it sound a little more natural from the sound of the guitar. And I do want to say I don't think that this is perfect. I don't think I really chose the absolute ideal values for what I was trying to do, but I think I got a lot closer. And if I had the ability to just unlimitedly pull parts out of the circuit board, I might have ended up with something I was a little happier with. The other problem is it uses really small capacitors on the circuit board, resistors on the circuit board, so I was also limited to what parts I had around the house. I couldn't just try every possible value that I have in larger resistors. So I'm going to turn the amp up here. Plug pedals in. I was prepared. And I'm going to set these up to similar settings. Times on about maybe 300 milliseconds. So here's the original Cave Dweller. I don't hear much of a volume drop. I do hear kind of a shift so that it's darker, but some people also heard a volume drop. So one of the things I did with this, aside from brightening the overall tone by lowering the input capacitor, that also cuts some of the volume, so I had to use a different value of input resistor to make up for the volume drop. So here's the bypass amp. And here's the Nature Dweller. Not perfect, as I said. If I'd had a little more time to experiment, I probably could have come up with something. See, it's still much brighter bypass. And I think a much smaller value of input capacitor maybe would have helped solve that problem. But I mean, there's only so much you can do, and honestly, it's such a good little circuit that, I think you should build it for what it is most of the time. But if you just want to change it a little bit, this is a decent mod. And as you can hear, it is a lo-fi delay circuit. Sorry, medium-fi. So you start getting some white noise. Especially if you turn the echo up. The echo is a single repeat that is minimally filtered, so you get you get pretty much all the noise from the chip. But it is good for slapback. Here's the nature dweller on that same setting with the dwell all the way down and the echo all the way up. One reason they sound a lot more similar in this setting is because the part of the darkness comes from the capacitor that carries the tone for the repeats. So as we turn the dwell up and the echo down, it's a little more noticeable by the tonal difference. A little bit of clear coat on my switch. And one last mod that I did, I fixed the dwell knob so that it doesn't oscillate until it's all the way up. Especially if you turn the echo up. So the infinite repeats on this one are almost all the way up, and then the oscillating repeats are the last little nudge on the knob. And over here on the original, you can get infinite repeats just past the So if you're interested in knowing more about those mods, I got a few of them on the Madbean forum, and I'll post a build report of my own that details all the things I did to the circuit. But like I said, I think I'd like an opportunity to maybe find the ideal values, so I might end up putting one on a breadboard eventually, or maybe someone else will be a little cleverer than I am, or do math or something. I'm scared of math.